Hello, your realtor Carl here. Just want to talk to you about finding your new home, give you some valuable information to help point you in the right direction and get you started and help answer some questions that you may have. And I'm sure it'll probably spark a few new questions, but I think overall this will help point you in the right direction to understand the home buying process. As you see on the screen is some of my contact information. You can always reach me at yourrealtorcarl at gmail, and you can visit my site, yourrealtorcarl.com, which allows you to search for homes directly from there. And you can also contact me via the site as well and actually get to my Facebook page from there as well. All right, let's get started. So, just a little bit about me. I'm going to start there first. I'm born and raised in Columbus, Ohio. Got married to my wonderful wife, Teresa, in January of 2018. Of course, I enjoy sports. Go Bucks. Movies, woodworking. I love working with my hands. I do a lot of renovation work on my home. And of course, everybody loves vacations. And I am a active real estate investor. I've actually had a passion for real estate since I've been about 16 years old. Actually looked into buying my first home at the age of 18, which took a while before that actually happened, but I was interested at that early of an age. So a little bit about my career. 2009, I graduated DeVry University for networking systems administration, so I have IT experience. In 2010, I purchased my first home, which was a duplex that I brought via short sale. 2017, I received my real estate license, and in 2000, as of now, I have about 9 years of real estate experience as a landlord and investor. And I'm doing some rehab work as well. I participate in a lot of real estate investing seminars and clubs and memberships, etc. So just to keep my real estate knowledge up is, like I said, is one of the things I've been passionate about for a long time. All right. So about Red One Realty, we specialize in the Central Ohio and surrounding areas. We maximize technology to assist in your search, which is one of the things I love having, background in IT. And we are locally owned and operated out of Columbus, and we're a very fast growing company. So let's kind of talk through a little bit of the buyer's roadmap, right? So one of the first things you want to do is kind of meet with a real estate professional such as myself, just to help point you in direction and kind of do what I'm doing now and just give you an overview and understanding of the buying process, right? The next thing you want to do is get pre-approved. Then after that, we want to start searching for homes. You want to make an offer. We're going to negotiate and get in contract, and then you're going to go under escrow, go into contract and escrow, and you're gonna some final details to flesh out at that point, and everything goes well, we'll go to closing, and the home is sold, and you'll have a new home. So, benefits of using a buyer's agent and having an exclusive buyer agency agreement. All right, so let's talk about this. So one of the things as a buyer's agent, if I'm representing you as a buyer agent, I represent you, right? You get a personal advisor who knows your needs. It saves you time, and which can save you money. You get access to knowledge. So obviously you have somebody you can contact whenever you have questions about anything that's related to real estate. We'll be there with you through every step of the buying process from beginning to end and even after. Help you determine what to offer, and we'll negotiate the best price and terms, because the offer that you submit is not always about the price. A lot of times other things, including some of the terms, can impact the seller's decision, not just the price. So also I can represent you on for sale by owner. So if you see a for sale by owner, I can actually contact the owner and negotiate on your behalf. Even new construction, a lot of times people don't realize it's actually a good idea to have a realtor represent you with new construction. You are buying the house from a developer. They are doing everything in their best interest. And oftentimes they're more likely to negotiate even on price with a realtor than a homeowner, because as a realtor, I can, there's no limit to how many houses I could sell for developer, right? If you're a homeowner, you're likely only going to buy one house from them. So they'll be more likely to negotiate with me as a realtor than for them to negotiate directly with the person that is buying a home and having the home built. The biggest benefit is that by being an exclusive buyer agent for you, I am legally obligated to put your needs above the seller and myself. It's called fiduciary responsibility, and it's something I have once I take you on as a client and we have that agreement in place. If you're working with an agent and there you don't have this agreement, then essentially you're not technically their client and they don't have fiduciary responsibility to you. Anyone with integrity is they're still going to do a great job, but that they not legally obligated to put your needs above theirs or the sellers. Another benefit, obviously, I have access to the MLS. So let's talk about salesman versus an advisor. So let's go to salesman first. They try to convince you to buy a particular home, and they're going, "Hey, look at these views, look at the windows, look at this kitchen. This is amazing. You should put an offer in today," right? That's what they're going to try to press you into a decision that's not necessarily for your benefit, but for their benefit. And they really only care about making money, right? So an advisor wants to help you. They provide information and resources and advice, empowers you to make an informed decision, supports you before, during, and after the purchase, and is a lifelong real estate resource for you, your friends, your family. So I want to go back to the line above where I said empowers you to make an informed and decisive decision. Decisive is really the only pressure you're ever going to get from me as your agent. I'm not going to go in the house and try to convince you to buy this house or put an offer in on this house or any of that. Only pressure I put on you, especially in this market, is just to be decisive. If you don't want the house, just understand that you don't want it. If you want the house and you really need to make that decision and be prepared to put an offer in when you find what you're looking for, because houses move very quickly. And I have seen many of times where people want to wait and think things over for a day or two, and when they come back to me, and for a perfect example, I had a client look at a house on a Saturday, didn't want to make an offer. They contact me Monday morning and say, okay, let's put an offer in on it, and the house is gone. And I've actually had that scenario happen more than once. It even happened with myself and my wife. I was very decisive about a house that I wanted to put an offer in on. She wasn't. She made the decision a couple days later and said, "Hey, babe, let's go do this," and the house was gone. So obviously after that, we go and look for some more houses. She became very decisive the next time we saw a house that we wanted, and she was on board immediately. And so I will tell you that is very likely to happen in this market. You really have to be decisive about the home you're looking for and understanding what you want. And so the best part about all of this and having a buyer's agent is that it is free to you. It doesn't cost you anything. You pay nothing. The seller literally pays for me to help you. It doesn't hurt for you to actually go and find an agent that you like, which I hopefully is me, someone that you feel confident in that can help you in your search, and just become their client and sign an agency agreement with them. So that way you have one person that can help you and that's going to put your needs above their own needs and above everyone else's needs. So that is the best thing you can do, is find an agent that you are comfortable with, that you really believe can help you, and be, become their client, and sign an agreement with them, right? Because like I said, it doesn't cost you anything and it's free. And most people like myself, they're not going to bind you to something. If you're uncomfortable with me, we can get out of an agreement. I'm not going to tie you and make you work with me because you signed a piece of paper. If we don't feel like we're working well together, you are always free to leave and find another agent. But it is definitely in your best benefit to have an agent represent you, whether that's me or someone else. So are you ready to buy? So do you have steady income, right? Low to medium debt. And you can Google like debt to income calculators and they'll let you know what your debt to income ratio is, because that is very important. So for example, let's say you have $1,000 worth of debt on your credit, so you between credit cards or car payments, etc. But your income is $2,000 a month. You got $1,000 worth of payments and $2,000 a month in income. Your debt to income at that point is 50%, and you may not get approved for a mortgage with that high of a ratio. But let's say you have that same situation where you have $1,000 a month in debt, but your income is $4,000 a month. Now your debt to income ratio is 25%, which is really good, and you're much more likely to get approved with that debt to income ratio. So that is a very important thing to understand. How much debt do you have compared to your income? Cash for down payment and closing costs. I will also include inspections because you have to pay for home inspections or mold tests or radon, any of that type of testing and inspections that you're going to want on your property. Those are the costs that you're going to have to be prepared for. You need 2 months of pay stubs and bank statements. Also, if you're getting a down payment, for example, from a 401k or retirement plan, you're selling off stocks, be prepared to show documentation of where your down payment came from because the banks are absolutely going to want to see that, especially if that money has not been in your account for a few months and you went to get, money out of your 401k, you know, after you applied for a home or within the last couple months. So, do you have 2 years with the same company or in the same industry? So, getting pre-approved. So, you want to, choose a lender. I can recommend someone to you, but by all means, you're more than free to um, pick your own lender, and I would encourage you to find, a lender. Don't be scared to apply at several banks because every bank is different. You can go to one bank and get turned down, and another bank will approve you. It happened to me before I bought my first home. I got turned down by one bank, and another bank actually approved me. I've also seen where it's happened. It's happened to where actually it's happened to me more than once that previous scenario, but I've also seen where you would go to one bank and get a pre-approval at one amount and go to another bank and the pre-approval is at a higher amount. That actually happened to my brother. He went to a different bank. The pre-approval was actually about $40,000 more than the previous lender that he applied with. So don't think that whatever one lender tells you is the gospel, that is why it's so important for you to be willing and open to working with multiple lenders to find the best one for you. Also understand that you can actually have your credit pulled about 5 times. As long as you're searching only for mortgages, you can have them your credit pulled 5 times and it's not going to hurt your score. It's about 5 to 7 times that you can pull your credit for the exact same type of loan without it actually impacting your credit. What gets you in trouble is if you go and say, I'm going to apply for a mortgage and I'm applying for credit cards and I'm applying for personal loans and I'm applying for cars. Like if you're doing all of that, then that can start to hit your score. But if you go out and you do pre-approval with 3 different lenders, you're going to be okay. So, it's very important to choose a lender that has the best program for you and that you feel comfortable working with. Okay, so after you do all that, you'll fill out a loan application. You'll get all your approval documents, your pay stub, bank statements, tax returns, etc. And one thing a lot of people may not be aware is actually very possible to buy a home with a 580 credit score or above. Um, the thing is though, the lower your credit score, there's other things that they're going to be looking at. So when we like your debt to income ratio, you've got a 580 credit score, then your debt to income ratio, it needs to be really low, and they're more likely to want a lower debt to income ratio and probably want to see more cash available in your accounts. Whereas somebody with higher credit, they can actually get approved at a higher debt to income ratio because they have a history of doing a good job at paying people back. Also, yeah, proof of down payment, which I touched on previously. So why get pre-approved? Well, you know what you can afford before you even start the process of looking for your home. You know if you're in a position to buy right now. Oftentimes people are surprised when they find out that, oh, I can actually get approved right now. I thought I wasn't ready and find out they're ready now. Or, vice versa. Sometimes they think they're ready now and find out, they have a couple of things to clean up and it's going to be 2 or 3 months before they're able to purchase. Um, so like I said, it lets you make an offer right away, and your offer is more likely to be accepted, right? Because it tells the seller that you are a qualified buyer, and that's why I say it lets you make an offer right away. Because if you're not pre-approved, is some sellers will not even accept your offer without the pre-approval letter. So if you're not pre-approved, you find the perfect house and you find it on Saturday, and then there's no banks or mortgage lenders available to get you a pre-approval that same day. then you may have to wait till Monday, and you may not get your pre-approval until Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, and the house may be gone. So you may miss out on your perfect home. And it makes it easier to get the service of a realtor. Honestly, there are a lot of realtors that will not even show you a single house without your pre-approval, and it's because we know, that the odds are if you try to submit an offer without your pre-approval letter, if you find the perfect home, then you're not going to be able to move forward. So yeah, there are a lot of realtors, they will not even, spend any time with you without it. I try to help people as much as possible, but I do encourage people to definitely go get a pre-approval and start with that process and talk to a lender. It is very important. So let's talk a little bit about your home search. Understanding what you're looking for is a top priority. So let's talk about some of the features of your home. Location. Where do you want to live? What school district do you want to be in if you have children or are planning to have children? What are your price ranges, which is also touches to the pre-approval. Unless you're paying cash, then you're really relying a lot on your pre-approval to understand what you can afford to pay. Square footage of what size of house do you want? And this can be a little bit tricky too, depending on the type of house that you purchase. So I can give you a perfect example of my brother-in-law, right? So he buys a 1,500 square foot ranch, but he also has a full basement, which is finished, which is basically essentially almost another 1,500 square feet. So he essentially has a 3,000 square foot house for the price of 1,500 square feet. You go in the basement, there's two more bedrooms, a full bathroom, and a kitchen. So sometimes that can be a little deceptive. You can say, hey, we need at least 2,000 square feet, but you may go get a ranch that is actually a little smaller in square footage, but because the basement is finished and that's not included in the square footage, you're actually getting a larger house versus, say, a two-story house where maybe it has a partial basement, or it does have a full basement, but the footprint of the house itself is smaller because a lot of your square footage is vertical versus horizontal, like a ranch, and you may actually end up with little less usable square footage because of that. But obviously, you want to know about what size home that you're looking for that'll fit into your price range. How many bedrooms do you need? How many bathrooms do you need? The style of house, like I spoke to you. You're looking for a ranch, you're looking for a split level, things of that nature. Do you want a garage? Are you, looking for a pool, which is not very common in Columbus, but just a lot of those things you want to think about before you actually go and start looking at homes. Have an idea what you're looking for, and as you look at homes, some of these criteria may adjust and change, but at least understand what you're looking for. So what kind of search tools do you have? So you, as an agent, I have direct access to the MLS. Obviously, we network with other agents, so sometimes we know about properties before they ever even hit the market. And then my website, I actually search through properties from my website and send them that way. Customer search, how can you look? You can go to yourrealtorcarl.com and you can search directly on my site, set up an account. Everything that you're searching for, I can see, which helps me assist you even better. You can look at yard signs, but I will tell you, in this market, you see a yard sign, and majority yard signs are actually houses that are already in contract. The listing agent puts the sign in the yard when they take the agreement, and it goes in contract, but they don't remove the yard sign until the house is actually sold and closed. So a lot of yard signs are not are houses that are no longer available. You can go to open houses. There's model homes. There's friends and families who may know houses, and FISBOs, which are for sale by owners. High tech tools. So we have automated search systems. One of the things about our website, it starts to learn what you're looking for. So there are a lot of features that are there to assist you in your search and assist me as a realtor to help you find a home. So let's talk about the MLS, which is the multiple listing service. All realtors have direct access to the MLS. Third-party sites such as Realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia, etc., all get their data from our MLS. The data is a little less accurate because the updates are slower. I have real-time access to the MLS, which means our data is more accurate and it's faster. It essentially is updated immediately. So the second a new house comes on the market, I can access it. The second a house goes from available to in contract, I'll be able to access that information. And also, I can send you email notifications of new listings, and you can get those however you want them, as soon as they come on the market, or I can send you a daily, weekly, monthly update, etc. So let's talk about a little bit about the market. Buyer's market versus a seller's market. So a buyer's market, there's a large supply of houses. There's few buyers, and buyers have most of the leverage. This is typically kind of what we went through during the last recession, where there are a lot of houses available. There are very few people who are actually in a position to buy houses due to high unemployment, lenders not giving out money. And so in that situation, houses are sitting on the market for a long time, and buyers have a lot more leverage when they're negotiating. You're way more likely to get a house for less than what the listing price is in those situations. In a seller's market, which is kind of where our current market is at, there's a smaller supply of houses. There are a lot of buyers compared to the available houses. There's a lot more competition for the houses because of that. Sellers have the most leverage in this situation. The homes sell fast. They sell a lot faster than they'll sell in a buyer's market, where buyer's market houses may sit on the market for months at a time, where in a seller's market is not uncommon for a house to be off the market within a few days and receive multiple offers. Seller's market is much more important to be pre-approved before even starting to search for a home, and you're going to need a much stronger offer. It is not uncommon in a market like we have today, when a new home comes on the market, you can offer full price and you will lose. And I've had this happen to clients multiple times, where they're presenting full price offers, or even offers over asking, and they actually lose because of how much competition there is for homes. So let's talk about actually making an offer. So think about what the seller wants. Obviously we have to look out for what you want and what's in your best interest, but you also have to consider the seller if you're really wanting to get the home that you're putting the offer in on, right? Obviously, everybody would love to go see this $200,000 house and offer 100 grand for it, but obviously that's not in the seller's best interest. Having your pre-approval letter is extremely important. So you want to have that at this time with your offer. You want to be prepared for your earnest money deposit, and your earnest money is kind of a good faith deposit, showing how serious you are about buying the house. It's very typical for earnest money deposits to be $500, $1,000, but in reality, they can be whatever you want to put down. You can do a dollar. But this is where you have to think about the seller. Is the seller going to accept a $1 earnest money deposit? No, they're not likely to do that. So having a stronger earnest money deposit can also benefit you as well. What about what inclusions you want in the house, like appliances or blinds, etc.? These are things you want to think about at the time of making your offer. You want to make sure, if you want the refrigerator and stove, that we make sure it's obvious that that's included. Now, at this point, we go through all of that, and your offer will be accepted. They'll counter or they will decline it. So when your offer is accepted, you give the earnest money to the title company, what we agreed upon, and then you'll start the process of doing your inspections, your home inspection, if you want to do mold or radon or any of those, and we'll do that in that process. If you see repairs, this is the time that we would negotiate those as well. The appraisal happens here depending on your lender. Most of the time they'll include this in your closing costs, but some lenders will ask for this out of pocket, because sometimes it speeds up the process if you pay for it up front. So you want to get your home insurance. So you want to get home insurance quotes, pick out a home insurer, and you want to get that information over to your mortgage company, well, your lender that's working on your loan. Then you'll finalize any other mortgage details. You'll usually get closing disclosures and things of that nature that'll start breaking down costs and other paperwork that the mortgage lender may need you to sign or provide to them. You want to start getting all of this stuff together. And once we get all of that done, we'll be prepared, getting prepared for closing, and you want to do a final walkthrough and make sure the property is still in the agreed upon condition. We'll make sure that, hey, they didn't go in and start tearing up stuff or taking things out of the house that are supposed to be in the home. So closing day. This is the big day. I'll accompany you to closing, answer any questions. We'll verify the closing paperwork, make sure it's in alignment with your purchase contract. A lot of that stuff will happen even prior to closing. We bring in your identification. Everyone who is purchasing the property must be present. If this is not possible, just let me know in advance. We can work something out. It is possible to do closings for if somebody has a job or something where they have to be out of state. It is possible to work around those type of things, but we just need to know this as much in advance as possible. You'll need to bring certified check or wire your down payment to the closing for the to to the title company for closing. That covers your down payment and any closing costs. You'll sign a stack of about 40 papers and documents, and it usually is a fairly quick process. It's a lot of standard paperwork, and you'll be doing a lot of signing, a lot of signatures. But once you get done with that, you get the keys to your new home, and that is essentially the process. So just kind of quickly break down some of the closing costs that you may see. You'll see things like your property appraisal costs. Your home inspection is usually going to be paid for prior to this, so it's not likely to be on your closing costs. But processing fees, underwriting fees, lender fees, loan discount fee, recording fees, settlement offer fees, title insurance, because you definitely always have a title company do a title search to make sure that the title is free of liens or any other encumbrances or anything that may impact you um, after you are the homeowner. Another thing is always good to search for and find out, because title companies, they'll verify that the title is clean, but one thing they do not check is utilities. So you always want to check with the water company and make sure there is not a large water bill or anything of that nature on the property, because if you fail to do that, you'll buy the property and then you'll go to find out that there is $1,000 water bill, for example, and you will be required to pay that, and the water company will not turn your water on until it's paid. So that's one of the things that are a little nuance to make sure to remember. So my contact information, once again, is my cell, my email, and there's my website. So if you have questions, feel free to contact me. You can email me. You got a list of questions. Just email me a list of questions. I'll get back to you. I'll help you out, answer them. Maybe you email me a list of questions, and maybe the best thing to do is have a phone call or meet or something. So just let me know. I also want to show you real quick too while we're here. Um, just want to give you a quick look at the website. So if you want to go to yourrealtorcarl.com, if you already have an account, you can log in up here. If you don't, you can just create an account, but here's the home page, so you can actually start to search for homes directly from here. And one of the benefits of this, like I said, once you do this and you create an account, I can see what you're looking at. You can favorite accounts, I mean homes that you see, and I'll understand what you're looking for. The site is smart; it'll start to learn kind of your search patterns and start to send you homes that it feels that may work well for you. And also my contact information and everything is here. Up here in this corner, you can see a little Facebook symbol, so you can just click on this and go to my Facebook page and follow me on Facebook, where I post content there sometimes that may be helpful to you as well. But after all, with all that said, thank you for taking the time to listen to this presentation, and I hope this was useful for you. If you think this is useful for somebody else, just feel free to send this video presentation to them as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and like the video for me, please. I would greatly appreciate that. But like I said, thank you for your time. If you have any questions or need any further assistance, please do not hesitate to contact me. Thanks. Hope you have a great day.